Alright, so if you're an architect, an architecture student, or you just love modeling 3D stuff, then I'm going to show you how a girl named Forever2 managed to monetize her 3D and rendering skills into an actual scalable business. But first, let's talk about why it actually makes a lot of sense to build a side hustle right in the beginning, or even if you're working in an office as an architect. You usually start with a big payment gap compared to other jobs in engineering and construction. You have a lot of unpaid overhours in the beginning. When it comes to the career progression, it's actually quite limited. There's just the project lead and the partner position, which is more of a management skill set that you have to learn again. Then there's a quite slow career progression. When it comes to the positions in the office, there's a project lead, and then there's the partner position. There are not many steps in between, so you have to learn a new skill set, and the skill set usually requires to learn more software skills in Excel, management tools, and communication skills. The other thing is that you have big creative and financial constraints. So either you work in an office where you are bound to the budget of the project, or you start your own studio where in the beginning, or let's say in the first 5 years, you usually have a really tight budget. Then there are also creative and financial constraints in both paths. So either you work in the office where you are limited to the budget of the project, so there are no bonuses that you can aim for. And when it comes to the creative part of the project, you usually have to find limited ways where you can design inside the budget. So you're quite constrained in the office, but also in your own studio. So let's talk about another way to build a business inside of the architecture space. Today we are going to talk about one special 3D educator. Her name is Anastasia, and you can find her on Instagram at Forever2. She has a YouTube channel, but she also has a big Patreon community. You can see that she has over 9 years of experience in 3D art, and she's making up to 60K in monthly recurring revenue, which is completely crazy if you compare it to the normal salary of an architect. We will deconstruct her business, and I will show you a reasonable blueprint of where you can see how you can deconstruct your skill set and manage to build your online presence step by step. So the first step is auditing your specific skill set so we can build a foundation which we can share then later with other people, show the process, show the way, and show the path. So inside of this first audit, we want to really find out 1 or 2 skills that we already have, where we can already show other people how to get good in this specific niche. So we don't want to learn new skills yet. We just want to resource the skills we already have. All right, so let's talk about step 2. We figured out what our foundational skill is, and now we want to think about how we can design our specific product. So when it comes to Anastasia, she took her experience in 3D modeling and niched it down extremely well. So she took specific software skills and specific ultra-realistic renderings and made a community for this specific skill set. So the first step is niching down. Let's say your specific skill is material editing. Instead of choosing a big saturated field of rendering a lot of different materials, you can choose one specific material and one specific software. Let's say you are the guy for wooden materials. Perfect. There's a huge niche, especially for wooden materials, especially now where people are thinking about sustainable ways of building. And there's a big niche where you can show exactly how to make wooden construction, how to make wooden materials for interior design. All right, so we found the niche. Now we want to think about the framework. So instead of making a lot of tutorials, which are really short, you want to think about really specific projects where you show big walkthrough so you can guide people from beginning to end and show them how to actually solve one big problem. In case of Forever2, she's setting up scenes for example, one big residential interior building, and then she's guiding the people through 30 minutes, 40 minutes, where she's breaking down the lighting, showing the materials, showing how she modeled the stuff, and packaging files and video formats. So in step 2, you want to think about how you can become the expert in your specific domain. If you don't know where to start, then the best point right now is AI. There's a big attention on this market, and people want to exactly find out how to get more productive, how to get the best results with AI inside of your niche. So instead of choosing the saturated market of AI where you show how to generate endless kinds of pictures, you have one specific niche where you show how you use AI inside of your workflow. For example, Anastasia is using Midjourney and other AI tools to generate ideas for her specific concept and for her specific mood. So instead of thinking AI as a broad general tool, you want to think about AI as your personal assistant in your specific niche. Step 3, beside plan and building your audience ecosystem. Perfect. Now that we know our niche, which will be our brand core, we can think about step 3, your audience ecosystem. Here we want to figure out our starting point and build an audience ecosystem around it so we can share our knowledge with our first customer. In case of Forever Stu, she took Instagram as the beginning point and she showcased her work, so she had a visual portfolio and proof of capability inside of Instagram, which was her biggest community in the beginning. Then she started out with YouTube videos where she shared small tutorials. Then she showed her work on Reddit, and she built a Discord community specifically for her Patreon members. So here you can see how she managed to go from the first starting point, which was Instagram, and slowly building around other places on the audience ecosystem. All right, so after you start sharing your knowledge on your audience ecosystem, you want to think about how we can monetize it and how you can start to design a funnel around your specific product. In the case of Anastasia, she started with free content on Instagram and on YouTube, where people could see her skills and her capabilities. After she shared a lot of free value with other people, she built a community around this specific niche and started a Patreon account where people can sign up, start from $1 to $10 as a membership, and there they get more advanced videos, they can ask questions, and can buy specific material and scenes. On the bottom of the funnel, we want to think about higher transactional skills, which can be consulting, one-to-one sessions, or high-tier memberships. So let's have a look at the Patreon subscription model. She has over 6,000 active Patreon members who are paying $5 to $10 per month, which is resulting in 30 to 60K in monthly recurring revenue. This is only memberships. She's also selling material packs, scenes, and so on, which are obviously resulting in more revenue. Let's talk about the 5th step, your personal master plan. Here we want to think about how we can design scalable products in 3 stages. In the beginning, Anastasia shared her work on YouTube, Instagram, and then later on Patreon. She set up scenes, tutorials, and broke down her process. In phase 2, people asked her how she built her business, which software tools she used, and she started to share her personal strategy, which resulted in higher tickets. In phase 3, you can think about the highest ticket, the mentorship program, one-on-one sessions, B2B marketing. So you think about your business helping other businesses, or you can coach other people in this specific niche. The good thing is that this blueprint is adaptable to other skill sets. So if you are not into 3D education, you can think about setting up a media brand, or maybe you just love 3D printing. There are many successful stories about how architects started their 3D printing business. And in my last video, I shared 2 specific case studies for the media brand and the digital boutique. So the main takeaway from this video is, instead of monetizing your output for one client or for one project, you should think about your specific skill set and think about how you can monetize your workflow, your process with other people, with a community, how you can share it online, and how you can start to make your first clients in this space. If you're an architect who's thinking about starting your own side hustle, but you struggle to find the right business model, you don't know where to start, there's so many options. Should I vibe code a software tool? Should I start a physical product? Should I share my knowledge online? There are many ways where you can go. I actually built a free tool where you can assess yourself with 12 questions and get 2 suggestions where to start, with 2 examples for each case. It's completely free. Just check it out. You can find it in the link below. If you want me to break down other case studies inside the field of architecture, entrepreneurship, just let me know what type of business you are curious about, so I can break it down for you and find the right structure so you can copy the system. Thanks for watching. See you next time.